It is 7:36 on a Wednesday morning. We dedicate the midway point of the 7 o'clock hour to talking some Michigan baseball. And joining us right now to reflect upon last week where Michigan won the series down at Illinois, we're going to talk to Michigan baseball coach Eric Bakich. Coach Bakich, good morning.
Good morning, Sam. Morning, Ira. Thanks for having me.
And glad to catch up with you, Coach. And you go on the road facing a pretty good Illinois team, and boy, did your guys rise to the occasion. And it was after one of those tight affairs. We've seen so many close games for your team this year. It'd be easy to get down after coming on the short end of the stick on some of those. But you get into that game and you lose that game 1-0, the first one against the Illini, and then you come back strong in the next two. So let's start off first with the 1-0 defeat in that first game, that tight affair against the Illini.
Yeah, it was just your classic pitcher's duel, and we had Evan Hill going, and he was pitching very well, and that was one of those games where, we just needed a 2-out hit. We had a couple runners in scoring position, but, both pitchers were pitching well, and just came down to one run, and not much of the offense going really in that game. I think we played that game in about an hour and 5 minutes or something, but it was just a quick game, a pitcher's duel all the way, and that's one of those games where we get a couple of 2-out hits and we win that thing.
Coach, we have spoken to you in the past, and there have been outings where Evan, on the scoreboard, it looked really good, but you would say, hey, the outcome was great, but he had some rough spots in there. How would you kind of classify this particular effort? Because the stats suggest that he was outstanding.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing about Evan is, I wouldn't say that was his best performance, even though it was really good, but that's just a credit to his ability. And last year, he was mostly pitching with a fastball, and even then just didn't. As good as he did last year, it was mostly just a one-pitch guy. And this year, he's throwing his slider, and he's much improved, but there's still a lot of growth in this kid. He's got a ton of potential, and he keeps getting better. And he's keeping us there. He's giving us a chance, and he seems to be pitching very well, and he's got really good numbers. But I think the more he pitches, the better he gets. So, the future's very bright for this guy.
So I mentioned, it'd be easy to get down as your team has battled, and there have been some tight affairs, and you come up on the short end of the stick. But the response that your team came back with in Game 2, Coach, is the response that you want to see. All you guys did was set season highs for runs and hits, 17 runs on 23 hits in a 17-9 victory against Illinois. I think that pretty much you can classify that as an offensive explosion.
Yeah, it was a slugfest. There's no question, and that's baseball for you. You got a pitcher's duel and lose 1-0, and then you score 17 runs, 12 hours later. I mean, it's just one of those things. But it was an explosion, and our guys were. We had 33 quality at bats in that game, which that's another season high as well. And guys were just hitting balls hard all over the field. Left field, right field, center field. I mean, a bunch of extra base hits, a couple of home runs by Jacob Cronenworth. But the difference is that where in Game 1 we just had some quality at bats from the top of the order. And we didn't have much going in the bottom of the order. And so, we challenged the team to have more consistency 1 to 9, top to bottom. And everybody in the lineup produced the next day and had quality at-bats. And everybody in the lineup 1 through 9 had either an RBI or a run scored. So it was a total team win. Everybody contributed, and just a great way to come out and swing the bats.
Yeah, Jacob Cronenworth, as you said, a couple of home runs in that game. That stat jumps out, offensive stat jumps out at you, the biggest and the brightest amongst obviously, as you said, a lineup of impressive stat lines. But freshman Carmen Benedetti doubled in each of his first 3 plate appearances. Coach, it's the first time that that we've had an opportunity to talk about him on the show. Kind of give us an idea of how his season has been going, and obviously a pretty good performance for him, amongst a game of great performances from your guys on Saturday.
Yeah, Carmen's a talented freshman. He's had some freshman moments this year, but he stuck with it, and he didn't really play much in the beginning of the season, and then he kind of got some opportunities in week 3, and he was one of those guys. He'd give you a hit or a couple of quality at bats maybe in a game, but wasn't able to put a complete game together, and that's what you saw on Saturday. Everything he hit was hard, and I think the hardest ball he hit of the day was a line out for a sac fly, in addition to the 3 doubles that he hit that were all hit hard as well. So you just saw him have a complete day, have a great day, and we really haven't seen someone on the team. I think maybe Glines early in the year would have a big day where he would have 4 or 5 quality at bats and just crush balls. But that's what you saw on Saturday. You saw a lot of guys have multi-hit games. Carmen had a 3-hit day. I think quite a few guys had a 3-hit day. Cronenworth with the 2 home runs, Carmen with the 3 doubles. And so, it's just good to see these guys. That's what we can do when we're hitting at our potential. So, you just want to try to bottle that up and use it as much as you can.
Right. We're talking to Michigan baseball coach Eric Bakich here on the Michigan Insider on Sports Talk 1050 WTKA, online at WTK.com. So last game of the set, the deciding game, and you come out and you win that one 4-2. Some timely hitting, Coach. You score the go-ahead run in the 8th, and you just mentioned Jackson Glines. He starts the frame with the double, scores that go-ahead run, and was really good. Looking at his stat line, he was really good in the 3-game set for you guys.
He was, yeah. He was our quality at bat winner of the week. He was very good all week long, very consistent as he usually is, but he had a great week.
Yeah,
and that was
that
was an upperclassman at bat right there. We needed the leadoff. We needed the leadoff on in the 8th inning. There it was a tie game, 2-2, and he crushes a double down the line. We move him over with the bunt, and then Cole Martin ready to hit right away, and then smashes a ball into left field for a base hit. So, Cole Martin, Jackson Glines, these guys really, they had quality weekends, consistent weekends, a lot of hard contact. Sunday was about execution, and the team that executed better and the team that was tougher was going to win that game. And we took advantage of some mistakes that Illinois made. We picked them off 4 times. And really, when you get picked off and you make some outs on the bases, especially 4 of them, it's tough to create some momentum that way. And we put all the momentum on our side. And, once we scored that run in the 8th and added an insurance run in the 9th, we had Crony in there to get the save and take that series. So it was a great weekend for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And it brings you back to 500 in conference play, which is a great thing as you get ready to take on Purdue down in West Lafayette later on in the week. Yesterday's matchup with Eastern canceled. Makes today's matchup a home game, 4 o'clock over at the Wilpound Complex. Coach, just before we let you go, kind of give us an idea of what Eastern brings to the table and then preview your matchup with Purdue on the road.
Well, Eastern has had their way with Michigan baseball for, you would probably know the stat. I know they got us twice last year, but I think it's been going on for a few years now. So I think our guys are going to come to the field with a pretty big chip on their shoulder. It's just, that's just something that we need. We can't overlook anybody in the midweek, no matter who it is, whether it's Eastern Michigan, Notre Dame, or anybody that we play. And we got to understand that these midweek games are great opportunities to compete and great opportunities to give us momentum going into the weekend. So, really looking forward to tonight's game. And then we'll obviously focus on Purdue, which Purdue is a team that really challenged themselves early in the season. They played a series with Tennessee, a series with LSU, a series with San Diego State. They've played a lot of very difficult competition. And so, much like us, where we scheduled our we had a very tough schedule early going. They probably had an even tougher schedule early going, and they just haven't really been able to find much of a stride or much of a groove. But you know how it is. It's baseball, and anything can happen on any given day. So we're going to have to play our best ball down in Lafayette and look to take another series.
All right. Well, Coach, that's what it's about. Winning series, and you got that one over Illinois back to 500 in league play as you get ready to take on first Eastern and back to league action down in West Lafayette. We appreciate you getting with us this morning, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Hey, sounds like a plan.
All right. Thanks a lot, Coach. That was Michigan baseball coach Eric Bakich, fighting it out. They've had a lot of close games this year. But to see them, experience some success after another one of those close, tight losses, it was great to see. 7:47 on a Wednesday. Come back on the other side. Recruiting Roundup here on the Michigan Insider on Sports Talk 1050 WTKA, the official voice of University of Michigan Sports.